This is our annual Out of the Darkness walk. We do this through Take Action League, which is one of the student organizations that I advise. So this is our annual Out of the Darkness walk for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
And is this for students and parents, the community?
It's for everybody. So I tried to make it as child-friendly as possible, but also for my students and for their parents and just anybody who wants to come out and support the cause.
And for somebody who hasn't seen the whole progression for signups and things,
Yeah.
Can you tell us about this? Because it looks like there's a bunch of different things, like a t-shirt fundraiser, different beads, different tables.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah, so I asked a lot of different social workers and mental health clinicians to come today. So there's Hope of Ogle County, Lutheran Social Services, and Sinisippi Centers here so far. So those are to give out information to the community and to the public about the services that we have here in Ogle County, because I feel like that's really important. And then the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention does a lot of different things that you can do during the walk. So one of the things that we do is honor beads. So I've got two of these. One of them is teal, and that means that I support those who have struggled maybe with suicide. And then I have one that just says I just support the cause in general. But there's a lot of different colors for maybe people who have lost a child, people who have lost a parent, who have lost a sibling, someone close to them. There's even stuff for like LGBTQ. So they've really honed in on how to support people there. There is a t-shirt fundraiser. There's also a fundraiser pickup. So if you raised over $100 for walking, you get a free t-shirt. Let's see what else is here. Oh, we have a Why I Walk poster. They basically want you to write down why you're here, what this means to you. So it's really cool to read all the stories on that. I'm trying to think. I know we've got snacks and refreshments for those that maybe aren't used to walking 3 miles. And then we actually have the community walk throughout Stillman. So it's like 3.11 miles. It's a 5K. So, yeah.
This is a challenging question. I recognize
Sure.
that. This is not my personal opinion. It's giving you a thing to respond to.
Sure.
So let's say somebody has a bad attitude and they're saying, you're not helping anybody. You're just going out and walking with people that are having suicide. They're not there. What do you think you're actually accomplishing?
Oh, yeah, no, totally. I understand that. So suicide is a very complicated thing. It's not something that we can pinpoint exactly what causes it or what doesn't. So in my opinion, anything that we can do to make people more aware of what's going on, to make people support other people, to know that your community supports you, it saves lives. So unfortunately, as a counselor and as a social worker before I was a counselor, I had a lot of experience with students who were thinking about suicide. Unfortunately, I have had clients in the past complete suicide. So I think it's really important you don't know who is struggling. It's really important for us to support those people because we don't know who's struggling and we don't know what impact that we're making. Because again, we don't 100% know what causes people to take their own lives. So I think it's really important just to be as positive and uplifting and bring as much awareness to the condition as we can.
And let's say maybe somebody is struggling right now. Do you have
Right.
any words for them or somebody who's trying to support them?
Yeah, so I would say as supporting those types of people, number one thing to do is just listen. But one of the phrases that I really like to use with people who are considering suicide or who are in a really dark place in their lives is that don't make a permanent decision for a temporary situation, right? So no matter who is in charge right now in our country, no matter what is going on, it's not permanent. It's not going to be there forever. But suicide is permanent. Suicide is forever. So we need to keep in mind that the feelings that we have surrounding suicide are temporary, and there's help for those things. So I think it's really important to remember that when you're struggling with those types of things, so that you can understand that your impact on the world is not just going to be based on what's going on right now. 50 years from now, you could be a completely different person. We're going to have a different president, right? We're going to have a different set of economic standards. It could be the next 3 years that things change. So sometimes it's really just riding those waves out and getting to the point where you realize that there is hope in front of you. It might not be right in front of you, but there will be hope at some point.
I've talked to, I'm sure that if you've lived life long enough, you've talked to a lot of people who are contemplating suicide.
Yep.
And some of the people I've talked to are afraid to seek help. They're like, I'm in a very dark point. I want to ask for help. But there is a belief, and some people who have said that I reached out for help. I was taking it against my will, put in the hospital, and now that I've been let out, I have a bill I have to pay, so my life is even worse off than before. What would you say to somebody who thinks about these things, and they're like, well, I want to get help, but this is the roadblock that's keeping them from seeking help.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one too. Our health system isn't perfect. Our mental health system isn't perfect. And unfortunately right now, a lot of what reaction that we get from that is very large and very big, which is understandable because if you're wanting to complete suicide and you've got somebody saying, well, we don't want you to do that, they want to keep you safe, right? But unfortunately, there are consequences for things like that. Our healthcare system is very broken, so it costs people money. So I would say the best thing that you can do is there's a number called 988, which is free. You can text and talk to somebody there. The other thing that you can do is get yourself connected with a good mental health counselor. So a lot of those services can be done free. I know in our county there's Mississippi services. They take Medicaid and they also do a sliding scale payment. Up in Rockford it's Rosecrans. They do the same thing. I'm not saying that those systems are even perfect, but they do their best, right? There's a lot of need and there's a lot of things that we haven't quite figured out yet, but I would say for those people, just keep trying. So find a good counselor you connect with and talk to that person. Those people are a lot less likely to react in such a way where it's going to cost you a massive amount of money. I mean, obviously, if you're in crisis and you need a hospitalization, it saved people's lives. I'm not knocking that at all. I'm just saying, if you have those thoughts and you're not planning on acting on those thoughts, maybe those thoughts are scaring you, that kind of thing, it's really good to get in touch with a counselor who can help you process those to keep yourself safe. And to come up with a safety plan to help you and your loved ones help keep you safe as well without having to put you in the hospital. So I guess what I'm saying is there are ways to avoid that type of hospitalization, especially if you're not an immediate danger to or risk to yourself or others, then you can stay out of that situation by getting the help that you need before it gets to that point. And I think that's probably the best way to do it, is to make sure that you are talking to somebody in advance.
Mommy, I killed you.
Okay, well, you need to go with Daddy right now, okay?
Can I get a drink?
Yes, you can get a drink. Sorry, I don't realize.
Last tough question.
Sure. I like tough questions. I don't know if you figured that out yet.
But sometimes I'm always afraid I'm going to offend.
I'm a social worker.
If
You're not
I
going to
ask
offend me.
them, there's other people who are probably thinking that.
Right, no,
So.
100%. Yep.
So let's say someone, because sometimes you're on the other end and people aren't always trained to deal with
Yeah.
a friend who's suicidal.
Right.
And so you might have a friend who says, I'm just at the end of my rope. I've got to say goodbye. I can't take this anymore. Life is just torture and there's no reason to go on. What would you suggest to somebody who is finding themselves in a position of, I have to take this phone call. I don't know what to do, but I care a lot about my friend.
Right.
What do they do?
So I guess it depends on where they're at. So if you feel like that person is in immediate danger, you can always call 911. They'll send a police officer out to check on that person. If it's just to the point where they're like, I'm just feeling hopeless, I'm feeling helpless, I don't know what to do, be an ear that they can, talk into, be a listening person. But ultimately, you got to get them connected with somebody who knows what to do. So I can give you an example for in the schools. So a lot of times in the schools, I will have a student come to me and say, hey, I'm really worried about my friend and I don't know what to do. And then I immediately pull in that student and I counsel them and I take care of them and I help them with whatever's going on. And then I make the plan for them. So I think it's a lot of people don't know what to do, so they don't say anything or they just don't respond, or I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think even if you just say, I don't know how to help you, but we're going to find a way to help you, is the best thing to do. So you don't have to have the perfect thing to say. You don't have to be exactly what they need in that moment. You just have to be able to listen. You have to be open to them. And then you have to tell them, we're going to get you the help that you need. And again, something as simple as don't make a permanent decision for a temporary situation can be really helpful because it can help people start to think about what does their future look like. And knowing that they have somebody that cares can really help a lot. And even somebody to be willing to go with them to that first appointment, like, hey, I found a counselor that we might be able to go to that takes your insurance, or I found somebody who can help us figure out who can take your insurance, that kind of thing. Or we can call this helpline together. Can I help you with that? Just connecting them with that person and getting familiar with what's in your area so that you can connect those people is huge. Because if you can get them to somebody like me, I can help them. So we just got to get those people to the right people at the right time, and we're good to go.
So, enough of the tough questions.
Sure.
Today's going to be a fun day.
Yes.
It's not just focusing on the bad, but it's focusing on, what would you say it's focused on?
I say it's focused on all the good stuff. For all the people who have maybe been there before themselves, there's plenty of people in here who have been there before. There's also people who have lost somebody to suicide, who have struggled just with mental health themselves. I think this is really important for all of us to come together and start to understand that you're not alone in this, which I think most people who struggle with this feel like they are alone. They feel like they're the only one who's ever felt this way, and that there is no hope for them moving forward. But if you meet people who have struggled with it and who have a good life now and who have gotten through that and who have really triumphed over that, it's a really cool feeling to be around those people, knowing that you don't have to be here forever.
what are you looking forward to most today, or what do you think the students are looking forward to most today?
I think they really like the music. They got really, really excited when I was like, hey, can you guys help me make a song for a playlist? So you can hear Katy Perry in the background right now. So they got really excited about that. I think they're also just really excited to be out here talking about something that they're not normally comfortable talking about. I had like 50 students decided that they wanted to come out today to volunteer and help me, which I was blown away with because we're a school of 450. So I mean, like 10% of my student body showed up today, which I was really excited about on their Sunday, their day off. I think they're really excited to go for a walk, first of all, because it's 67 degrees and sunny outside. But then just helping people and talking about a topic that they're not normally able to do so without feeling a stigma, I think is a big thing. I've seen a lot of people really excited about crafts and tattoos too.
Oh, tattoos?
Temporary tattoos and crafts, yep. That's usually a popular table.
Last actual question
Okay.
is there anything that I didn't ask the right question, maybe I didn't know the background either about the event or the bigger topic at hand, that you think our viewers should know?
I think just the big one is that there is help available, and I've already said this, so not that you didn't cover it, just there is help available. 988 is a huge resource at American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, which is who hosts the Out of the Darkness Walk. They really helped get that on there. So you can text 988 and you'll have immediate help from a mental health counselor anywhere in the United States. You can call 988, same thing, help anywhere in the United States, or you can go online and chat with them, help anywhere in the United States, and it's confidential and it's free. So I think if that can get out to the general public, just to know that that service is available, even if you don't have a friend you can talk to, or even if you don't know what to do as a friend, get on the phone with 988 and they will help connect you to a crisis person.